Can we talk for a minute? I want to know if I'm the only one. Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I am Tayla Andre. Waking up with Tayla Andre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day that we link up, but about waking up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. So I want to know, am I the only one that's having a problem with my kids in school? I want to know, like, talk to me. Tell me the truth. Tell me how you feeling. Tell me what you're thinking. Like, just let me know that I am not the only one out here. Like, as far as these teachers not properly communicating or maybe communicating to. So, I'm seeing in emails, I'll just talk about my experience and then I'd love to hear your experience. So, in my experience, like, teachers are talking to my kids crazy. Like, they're talking to my children in ways that I don't speak to my children. And you can hear the hostility in the tone of an email. Aside from that, I'm having difficulties with my children actually doing the work. And when they're 16 and 14, like looking over their shoulder, and first of all, half the shit they do, I'm not even understanding it. Like, I don't understand their math. Asari is in 8th grade and her math is light years beyond who I am as an individual. When you're a kid and you're like, am I going to use this when I'm a grown up? No, you're not. Unless you're in the field where you're using that math, no, you're not going to use it. So I'm like, I can't even help you with the math. We need to get you some like outside help. And just aside from that, I'm having difficulties with, whatever issues I have with the teachers. I'm going to the administrators, and it's like the administrators don't ever hold the teachers accountable. It's always like, well, the teacher did such and such because, and it's always like the administrators are making excuses for the teachers, but then want to side eye me when I make excuses for my children. And so, like, I'm a little frustrated, I'm a little annoyed, and I just need some Facebook therapy in the form of conversation with you all. And so, just am I the only one? Like, how are you guys dealing with, like, as far as your children are concerned? How are you guys dealing with conversations with homework? How are you guys dealing with conversations with the teachers? How are you guys doing, like, homeschooling? How is homeschooling for everyone else? Because I feel like I'm epically failing when it comes to homeschooling, and I don't know I don't know what to do. Like, I'm getting, my kids are sitting down, they're doing their work. Aside from them sitting down doing their work, and they're like, oh, like 4 hours later, they're done with one subject. And I'm like, why are you done with one subject? And the kids are like, because it's not just. So what I'm doing is I'm doing classwork and homework for one class, like, or one subject. And I'm like, is that for the week? And they're like, no, it's for the day. And I'm like, how are you really? You're not. Like, I don't believe you. So they're turning in some work for one class, not turning in other work for one class because they feel overwhelmed. So, transparency. My children attend Edward Burke Charter School on American Legion Highway. And we got, like, for instance, we got an email today from one of Anari's teachers that's like, here's what you have to do, and it's due by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And I looked over it, just looking at it, and I got overwhelmed, and my heart got like palpitations, and I'm getting stressed out for him. Like, yo, this is a lot of work. And then even if you do like 3 pages on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's overwhelming for me as an adult to even look at the amount of work this one class is giving him. And this is all like new information. So how are you giving new information to a student? Let me tell you what my baby mama said today, right? My baby mama said our kids weren't being taught properly in person, and they're being left behind virtually. Yo, that was the realest shit anybody ever said about this education system and the equity that is lacked in BPS. Because a lot of our students are left behind, and a lot of our students don't have the serenity of a home. Like they don't have peace in a home. They have 1,400 square feet amongst 6 people living in a house, and you want them to sit back, relax, and do 8 hours of work. And literally, like, these kids are being given 8 hours worth of the day. Like, oh, you would have had what Asaria said, Mommy, I can't believe she told me you have nothing else to do. She was like, Mommy, I'm frustrated because you want me to do the dishes, you want me to clean my room, you want me to do this, you want me to do that, but my teachers just told me I don't have nothing else to do. And I don't know if because Edward Brooke hires a lot of like these young professionals that come straight out of college that don't have any children. This is like their first job. And, you know, a lot of them call you from like a 321 number or like a 487. Like they're from Middle America on a Teach for American program. You never see a teacher there longer than 3 years because they do their little Teach for America inner city program and get their money off their student loans, and then they leave. So I don't feel like, first and foremost, like I don't feel like you're invested in my child to begin with. I already hate in August when the teachers are calling you to, hey, I just want to introduce myself, and they're calling from a 478 number. Like, where are you from? Oh, Indiana. A small town in Indiana. And you just thought you'd come to Boston to teach my child? I'm frustrated on so many levels because I have complained to the dean of students or the administrator or the business manager, and it's like none of my complaints are taken seriously. And it's always a consideration for the teacher. Maybe the teacher didn't mean it that way. So today I checked my voicemail. I had like, you have 38 new messages. I was like, oh shit. So I'm going through the message. So when COVID-19 first started, there was an email that was sent out to the students, and it was just like, a lot of you guys are plagiarizing. And I just want to remind you that plagiarizing is illicit activity that you should not be engaged in. And the first thing I did was ran up on Asari and was like, like, who are you plagiarizing? She's like, Mommy, it's not me. And I'm like, yo, you don't send no shit to parents about kids. Plagiarism is illegal, right? You get doctorates taken, you get shit taken away if you're found or caught plagiarizing someone, unless you're Joe Biden and then you get away with it. Do your research. And so I wrote her back and was like, listen, unless this is specifically to my child, you don't send it. And I'm thinking, like, me as a black parent, I'm thinking of West Indian parents. Like, I'm thinking how many kids just got their ass whooped because you are not thinking a cultural response. If you are sending me something about plagiarism, I'm automatically thinking it's my kid, not thinking you talking about a third of the class. A third of the class don't include my child. So why are you informing me that what other kids are doing? My daughter ain't jumping off the ledge. Why are you telling me about other people's kids jumping off a ledge? They ain't got nothing to do with me. Second thing, Anari been telling me for years, yo, that teacher lying on me. And I used to be like, oh, the teacher lying on me. So Anari, I'm like, yo, send your teacher the email, He's sitting right there. He typing up the email. I say, BCC me on it. He BCCs me on it. He sends it. 2 days later, the teacher hit me up. You know, such and such is missing, and Anari didn't do this, and I haven't heard from Anari. I'm like, you didn't hear from Anari. Anari sent you an email 2 days ago at this time. He was like, no, he didn't. No, he if that's what he told you, that's not what he did. Screenshot, receipt, sent. Oh, it must have went. Nah, it was part of the same thread. How that one part of the thread end up in your junk? It's so, I see what these kids, like, I see what these children are going through. Like, I see the BS. I see through it. They're being penalized and talked to all types of crazy. I need help. And then on top of that, y'all know Baby Rain is a force to be reckoned. You know what? Let me see if I can do this. Because y'all think I'm playing games. I left it here because he gonna clean this shit up when he wake up. This baby rain, y'all. This is baby rain. I refuse. He gonna clean that shit up as soon as he wake up. Before we eat breakfast, as soon as he get off the potty, he comes straight in this motherfucker to clean up. Somebody said today, what they called him, a heavyweight champion. I believe it. I believe it. Baby Rain gonna be knocking him out 1-2 punch. Honestly, I am overwhelmed. I am here for all of your suggestions. I'm learning, as far as Prince is concerned, he's definitely a toddler, and he is a different breed. And I am learning to run with him. So instead of like trying to control him, because he is his mama and he don't do the control business, you ain't finna tell me what to do. And what's crazy is, now that I think about it, if I ask him to do something, like, he'll do it. He'll do it. Baby, can you please? Papa, can you? My love, can you? And he'll do it. But go over there. Yo, this kid said, I'm like, yo, where he get this from? Yo, sit your ass down. Oh. Mirror image. Mirror image. Yo, when Kevin Hart said, a dippy got him juice. Like, Baby Rain be out here cussing me the fuck out. Without fear, too. And, like, mash up his face. Like, these new age kids is different. Different. Yeah, Doris. You got this, because I'm about to drop his ass off at your house. But as far as, like, the big kids are concerned and their teachers are concerned, and this educating from home, like, I really do need help. I really need to know, am I the only one that's going through this? How to navigate these waters? You know, do I make a big deal out of the teacher? And the way that I feel is, like, if I make a big deal out of the teacher lying on my son, it's like, oh, it was a mistake. You know, he didn't see the email. He's getting emails from 35 other students. Like, then you should have thought about that before you went ahead and sent me a message telling me that he failed to communicate with you. Because essentially you failed to do your due diligence to find out whether or not he communicated with you. I have seen time and time again through Asari has been at this school since pre-K. Like, she was there for kindergarten, and she's about to go into the 9th grade. And so I've seen the punitive actions that the school takes. And I'm not a fan. Like, I'm not a fan. I'm frustrated. I'm fed up. And COVID-19 is not helping. Like, a part of me wants, yes, they should be educated. They should be learning. But should they have a full day's worth of work plus homework? I don't think so. How I feel I feel what should be taking place now is there should be nothing new being taught. And going back to what my baby mama said about, you know, our kids weren't learning when they were sitting in a classroom and had a teacher in front of their face, let alone educators not being virtual, sending emails and telling them, hey, do this page, do that page. I can do that. I can give them a book and tell them to read it and then give them questions. Like, I think right now it should just be, since we're at the end of the 3rd quarter, entering into the 4th quarter, what was learned through the 1st and the 2nd quarter. Now, I understand, like, the state has minimums. When you take a look at curriculum overall, and you take a look at, what is it, like the minimum, like state minimum, what needs to be taught to students. And it's like Huck Finn and just dumb shit, like reading books that To Kill a Mockingbird. Like, that's just not even fucking relevant today. Like, is it historic? Great. Is it old? Yes. Was it ahead of its time? Okay. But what are we teaching our children? And I feel like a broken record. What are we teaching our children to prepare them for walking outside of those doors and entering into the real world? And what a lot of these teachers and educators don't understand is our children get a dose of the real world every time they walk out of our house. We don't live in the suburbs. We don't live in middle America. We don't live in Dixie Hart, Alabama. Like, we live in the city of Boston. Every time our children, and sometimes our kids don't even have to leave our front door to experience the real world, to experience the crackheads outside yelling and screaming at each other, to experience the gunshots, to experience mama going crazy or having 3 jobs and not even being home. Like, our children, our Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan children, whose parents are more likely to be a Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan parent or child once upon a time, have experienced so much life more than the average adult. When my child goes to school, what are they learning that's going to prepare them like I was not prepared when I walked outside my door, when I walked into college, when I left college? What is preparing? Like, and that's what school and that's what education should be, preparing. And I don't care if it's preparing them to be a worker, preparing them to be an entrepreneur, preparing them to be a politician, like whatever it is preparing them for. Why are we teaching them bullshit? And why do we, the parents, are the tax-paying citizens, allow our children to continuously go to school? Like, think about when you went to school. Your children are learning the same shit you learned when you went to school. Is there anything that you learned in school that you are implementing in life today? 9 times out of 10, hell nah. So why are we accepting the same curriculum from 35 years ago? That's the thing I don't get. That's the thing I don't understand. And we still have politicians. Like, politicians were kids at one time. We have teachers. They were kids at one time. As an adult, you know what the fuck you learned in school versus what you do in life? Why is that conversation not being had? Like, yo, this is what we need to prepare them for. And this is why I have adults 56 years old trying to sit down with me and talk about their credit. And that's no pun. That's no disrespect. It's just honest. At 56 years old, you're supposed to be planning out retirement, not trying to get started. Not planning on retirement. Like, at that age, you're supposed to be getting ready for retirement, not getting started. My mouth talk faster than my brain talk faster than my mouth. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed, and I need a hug. Social distancing is definitely getting to me. It got to me day one. I was like, hold on, what? I can't go what? You want me to do what? What? You want to keep me in the house? I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you for your time, for your suggestions. I know it's late. A lot of people are not sleeping. They scrolling through the gram, not on Facebook. I hope you guys have an amazing day. If you know anybody who knows somebody who is an essential worker, I'm giving $1,000 towards closing costs for any essential worker, whether they buy or sell a property. For my buyers, Ryan is going to match my $1,000, and so you'll have $2,000 towards your closing costs, and that's all essential workers throughout the year 2020. And I'm doing a giveaway, so if you know anybody who wants to make a quick $50, tag 50 people on the post about the $1,000 towards closing costs, and send me your Cash App. Like, it's just that simple. I'm gonna go to bed. I want to stay up, but baby Rain sleeps, so I'm gonna hurry up and go to sleep before his ass wake up trying to find me. Yo, if that kid does not hear my voice, feel my breath, or my heartbeat isn't pulsating next to him, he literally will wake up immediately. I cannot climb out of bed to go to the bathroom without him waking up. So that's my boo. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing day. Mwah.